record. It states, "Good evening, members of the council. My name is Scott McVeigh, and I am a 25-year resident of this ward living at 6010 Campbell. I'm submitting this formal written statement to voice my 100% support for both of the proposed legislative amendments regarding e-vehicles currently under consideration. I raised 4 children right here in this ward. Growing up, they either walked or rode traditional bicycles and razors. They were taught basic street smarts and explicitly knew the rules and songs about safely crossing our neighborhood street. Thanks to strict parental oversight and personal accountability, they never once had an accident with a motor vehicle. If my children were of writing age today, I can assure you that there would not be an e-bike sitting in my garage. I deeply appreciate both proposals before you tonight because they directly address the core issue at hand, parental accountability. However, it is a sobering commentary on the state of our community that we must go so far as to create entirely new legislation to force parents to be held accountable through the threat of monetary fines or jail time. A child's safety should be reason enough to ensure proper oversight. The necessity of this legislative intervention is truly perplexing. We, as parents, should not be passing the buck to the community to uphold basic parental obligations, nor should we make unsupervised children the neighborhood's responsibility. It is one thing for neighbors to look out for other people's kids as a community courtesy. Being legally forced to bear the systemic burden of their safety due to a lack of parental oversight is a whole other discussion. Because our current culture and climate unfortunately require it, these amendments are absolutely necessary. I fully back these measures to protect our youth, secure our shared pathways, and restore essential accountability to our municipal streets. Respectfully submitted, Scott McVeigh. I sent a copy to administration and all council as well.
Thank you. Is there any other correspondence that anyone wishes to share? Yes.
I received an email from Sherry Palucci up on Southland. Mayor, I understand you stopped to visit her the other day. And they're still not happy with not just her, but several of the other neighbors. And I was by there on my golf cart just after you had been there, the day after. And I can understand her concerns. What they've seeded seems more like crabgrass than anything. And it's like, I don't see a path for that to get corrected. And she is now looking at hiring a contractor to fix her yard, as are several other residents along that area, because they're just disgusted with what's going on. I can't say that I blame them. I know the Palucci's were very particular about their yard. And I see the mayor shaking his head yes, because he knows that they took great care of their house. There's many residents in our city that are proud of their houses, their landscaping, everything. And hats off to them. So I don't blame them for being upset. That is not even close to what it should be. So I don't know if we have still any other recourse or what's going on, but wow. I can't say that I blame them.
Good. Anyone else have correspondence this evening? Hearing none, we will move on to Administrative Department Head Reports. Mayor and Safety Director, Mr. Eva, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Johnson, members of the council, the public here this evening. Start off with the fire department report for July. For July, there were 123 calls for service, 38 fire service calls, 85 rescue EMS calls. Of those 85 calls, there were 10 calls for input assist. There were no calls requiring Narcan due to overdose. Department training for July. The topic was EMS legal issues. Monthly shift drills. EMS was diabetes and its emergencies. Fire was electric car fires. Department members who are part of the Lake County hazmat team attended training. Department members who are part of the West Lake County Fire Investigation Unit attended training. Department captains attended shift officer training. During the month of July, the fire department attended the firefighter story time at the library. The department oversaw the annual fireworks at the Benner Harbor Yachting Club. They also submitted an application for a firehouse subs grant. Inspections during July, they did the Manor Harbor Yachting Club detector inspection, also the Manor Harbor Yachting Club fireworks inspection, Crafty Workshop final inspection, Subway extinguisher inspection, Lake Elementary, they did an alarm test and annual inspection, and Bullseye Billiards initial opening inspection. Congratulations to our members who celebrated service anniversary in July. Battalion Chief Knitsky, 35 years. Chief Pachasko, 28 years. Captain Campaign, 16 years. And Firefighter Baker, 3 years. We have 3 resident volunteer opportunities available at this time. Parks and Recreation Board, this board meets on the second Thursday of the month at 6:30 p.m. in our community room. The board helps us with scheduling citywide events throughout the year. Planning and Zoning Commission. Planning and Zoning Commission meets on the first Monday of the month at 6 p.m. in our community room. Planning and Zoning Commission handles site plan reviews for residential and commercial development, advises council on zoning ordinance changes, and issues conditional use permits for our local businesses. As we learned last week, we need a records commission. This commission includes the mayor, the administrative director, law director, and 1 resident for a 3-year term. The functions of the records commission shall be to provide rules for the retention and disposal of records of the city and to review records disposal lists. This commission will meet every 6 months. Our city's fall festival will be held on Saturday, September 12th from 1 to 7 p.m. Most of our Parks and Recreation Board members will be available to help that day. I'm hopeful most of our council members can also volunteer to help for a couple hours too. That concludes my report tonight.
All right, thank you. Administrative Director, Mrs. Valentine, good evening.
So the last meeting, Mr. Brady brought up ordinance 1024, in reference to exposed to drainage pipes in Dahlia. We agreed that that pipe should be placed underground when we approval, but we did not find anything in the ordinance for repairing pipes. So if you would like to consider updating your ordinance for the future, that's something that's we want to do.
Which ordinance was it?
1024. And then, I just remembered, we received about $38,000 directly today, so we're pleased to have, money.
All right, thank you. Law Director, Mr. Zeman, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of council. Just to give the 2 ordinances on your agenda tonight, of course, issued by the police departments, noting that there was some confusion relative to these types of devices operation and who I think they're traffic versus some of these devices have the right of way under various circumstances. So it's an important, although not an extensive housekeeping item. And so based upon that, we've given some further to law enforcement activities. So we strongly encourage the council's adoption of that tonight. So that
Thank you. City Engineer, Mr. Parker, good evening.
Good evening. Just one thing that came up, as you guys are probably aware, we do try to repair concrete streets. The joints typically fail first, and we'll go in and we'll fix them the best we can. We have a problem with it adhering to your concrete, adhering to the old concrete. A lot of times you get water in there, the freeze on, just breaks them apart, they don't last, the repairs just don't last them. So I was approached by the same gentleman who puts the fabric down for the asphalt road. And he's got a product that he's starting to use, and we thought it showed good promise. Wanted to know if we were interested in trying it out. So it's a mastic filler, plastic with fiberglass reinforcing in it. It fills the hole. It adheres to the concrete and has a stone surface on the top. So he gave us a pretty good price to give it a try. So we thought we were looking at the city, a place where it would be, a small section we could try out, see how it works. So Linden, between the end of the asphalt and Green Parkland, it's a small little section. It seems like we could do all of that repair, and then we know there'll be many eyes on it to see how it goes. So we are moving forward with that. You should be able to do it by the end of the month. It'd be nice. It gives us another tool, because really concrete patching is just not real good. and this could give us another way of doing it. The costs are a little more expensive than traditional fencing, but it could be another thing that we could do for all the concrete roads we move forward, especially the next one. And that's all I have to report.
And questions for administration?
I'm gonna start. How much is that going to cost?
Yeah. What we did is it's under 20,000. We told them to be better up to 20,000. If we get most of the way, and we have a small piece left, we'll consider finishing it.
Okay, so we just know it'll be up to 20,000. We don't have an actual price range.
Right, when we do a concrete road, it's based on square footage. He does everything by volume.
Okay.
For pounds. So how deep are the, are each of those, when we actually clean out those cracks, how deep is that gonna go? I don't know. Until we do it, he won't know either.
Okay.
So what we did is we capped it at 20,000. If we have a small piece left, we might go over that just to keep it the finish. But other than that, that's sort of our goal, was to get something that was close to that 20,000 numbers. So they try now and see if it works. And if it works, then that's huge for us. It's huge. We have a lot of country roads. We need to work.
Other questions? Yes?
First, I want to say thank you because ever since Aqua did the work on that street, it has been horrible since they left it. It's like a speed bump every 2 seconds. Questions though. I was at Lobo Park this weekend and what is left to be done at the park around, there's that walkway and then there's dirt all around that. What is left for that process?
Do you mean like whole park?
No, just
Do you mean
so
just that area?
just that area that there's no,
playground?
yeah, just outside the playground area, there's that walkway around it.
Because that walkway has to be finished, eventually it's gonna go like all the way around the park.
Okay.
It doesn't, we just took that cutoff area because we don't wanna finish the walkway and go after the revetments done. Because we don't know how much land's gonna come off the lake.
Okay.
Lake, so we can't finish that right now. And then, the, obviously landscaping's done.
Yeah, because it's pretty rocky, that dirt. There was some big
Yeah,
jumps.
we're- Like actual real landscaping needs to be done at some point, but, which is still kind of like under construction, so I don't like, I don't wanna jump into like paying a lot of money and then having a bunch of trucks or reading it later, or, you know, so.
When I was up there too, I was up there on Sunday, so it was after all the rain that we had. And if you're standing in the parking lot, looking at the right-hand side, the east side, there was a lot of water standing on that walkway. I mean, that grading is coming right down to the walkway and just setting there. I mean, it was puddles. So my concern is the deterioration that is might already starting to be happen, especially after the downpour we just had right now. Maybe if we can get some of that graded, so it's not laying onto the walkway, onto the cement. Just
Parking lot to the,
not the parking lot, the round walkway that so you have playground. And then there's that round walkway that goes around it.
yeah,
On the far side and towards the lake. So that it's graded right down to the sidewalk. And I mean, it was just puddles. Just puddles.
okay, I'll have to go out.
I mean, after tonight, if it's still like 4.6, I'm after now because of the rain. And then I have one more question. So after the fence that we just had installed, do we have any plans to get it stained and to keep a maintenance on that so it will last?
I think we should understand, I do. It's pre-treated, so technically we don't need to do it right away. But I would for the future start staining it after, I think, pre-treatment's like first 2 to 3 years of that before we should start staining.
I just want to make sure that we have something, in place for yearly after that or as needed. And that way you get, the service department time to inspect any boards that might need replaced along the way.
Yeah. Only issue with that is the other side. So,
That's all I have.
Other questions? Mr. Greer?
Yes. So as it relates to bounce off of Desiree's comments about the current mud site down there at the Loba, and the construction debris that's everywhere, I'm pretty sure no resident doing any type of construction. Because any work site post 30 days in that condition, let alone grass seed and anything for coverage. Even cranes that spray hydro seed onto the debris pile until it's moved. That's normal construction practices. I think that should apply here. Clean the rocks up, rock hound it, rough grade it, throw some topsoil down and hydro seed it. Our residents shouldn't have to be running through mud, through rocks, over rocks, or around rocks. And as for the drainage actually starts at Salida, where the bike insert went in, everything is going down towards the wall. Second question or comment. The drainage. Quote from 1024. Mr. Law Director, can you look at that? Because I believe the city is held liable without changing the ordinance. And Mr. Parker, if you can look at that too, because you're named in that ordinance too, as city engineer. So I'm not quite sure what pipe or resident. If a pipe is failed and sticking out the ground, the city has every right and capability either to notify the resident or the ordinance to fix it, give them a time frame, or the city can demand themselves to do it and give the resident a bill as it states in 1024 and have to pay it. In such a time frame, the city's desire, once not paid, and put a lien on someone's house. Whether proactive or reactive.
Thanks. Sorry, I'm talking about the pipe underneath the driveways. I'm talking about, I was told that you pointed out a house that has like your gutters, and you put a pipe that goes all the way to your ditch.
1024 covers the drainage, which is the ditch.
Well, it's drained properly. It's just not buried. It's not appealing.
You got the curb that is crushed in with trucks.
It's not, that's a whole different house. I'm just talking about the circle pipe that goes from like the gutter, from like a sub pump or whatever, and then comes out of the house and then empties into the ditch. It's draining properly, like there's nothing wrong with the drain. The drain is doing exactly what the ordinance said it has to do. It's just doesn't look.
Okay, what about the other
There's
houses?
nothing to say that it has to be buried underground.
What about the other houses?
Their houses are taken care of.
So they'll crush corrugated PVC that's above grade, crush.
They got their citations, they got their letters in the mail, and they've contacted us to help fix it.
Okay, what about the ditch and clean up the ditches so water can flow equally on both sides of the property?
Ditch was perfectly clean. I only had 2 houses, 2 addresses, so if you have a third address.
There's 6. And what about the curve? The chase from the curve on south side of Dahlia, going around the S bend to Beach. It's hell.
Also too, we have to keep in mind that Dahlia's our next OPWC project.
I get that, but in the interim, we're flooding down there. I shouldn't have to put up with a foot of water in my backyard because the flood's over there and backs up all the way up down. That's the concern I have. And the resident that put that sump pump in has been brewing for 25 years. He finally had to spend his own money to fix his backyard because everyone's flooding up, down.
Backyards are to be fixed.
I get that, but if the drainage isn't working, water's gotta go somewhere, so where's it going? In people's backyards and basements. And then the curve, the pipe is crushed and buried, needs to be dug out and cleaned so water flows.
Okay, other questions? All right, we'll move on to board committee commission reports. Planning and zoning doesn't have a report because the council representative wasn't there. You're gonna. Okay.
Planning and Zoning Commission met for its regular meeting on Monday, August 3rd at 6 p.m. In attendance were Commission members Sweeney, Leonard, and Haas. Absent were Commission member Weisenberger and Council Representative Thompson. Also in attendance were Mayor Eva, Planning Zoning Administrator Ice, as well as Council President Johnson, Council Vice President Morris, and myself. At this meeting, public hearings were held for several conditional use permit renewals within the city. Without significant changes, Additional use permits for Spuddy's Tavern on Munson Road, Weebit Lounge on Andrews Road, Blystone's Marine Supply on Andrews Road, Ale House on Munson Road, Biggie's Custard and All Occasions Limousine on Andrews Road were all renewed for 5-year periods. Under old business, denial of the fence permit at 5481 Granada was discussed again. The original permit was denied for a site impairing design greater than 2 feet in height located in the front yard setback area. The commission agreed to allow one of 2 options that the contractor may take back to their client, either returning to the original style, height, and location that was consistent with the 1999 approved variance, or comply with current fence code, which would require a 6-foot maximum for privacy behind the front setback line of the house. They concluded their meeting by adjourning at 7:16 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Zoning committee.
Zoning committee met on August 5th at 7 p.m. Present was Ms. Wong, Mr. Bittner, Mr. Morse, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Zyman, Mayor Eva, zoning inspector Ice, and myself. Discussion of 1280.07 parking prohibitations. We just discussed the duplicate prohibitations currently in section 1280-7 and chapter 452. We recommended to remove the prohibition from 1280-7 and keep it in chapter 452. Discussion on penalties and enforcements differ between zoning code and general offenses code. Parking is better handled under general offenses. We decided to retain the rule in chapter 452 and strike it from 1287 with added cross compliance language. Commercial vehicle for residential parking. Initially 3-part definition considered ORC 450.01.01, commercial car, truck, commercial registration, and business use declaration. Planning and zoning guided for planning and zoning provided 3 guidelines. Gross vehicle weight over 1,400 pounds, more than 2 axles, requires a CDL to operate. Proposed exemptions: passenger cars, pickup trucks, and SUVs used for personal transportation that do not meet these criteria are exempt from commercial vehicle restrictions, regardless of vehicle type. Driveway limits: 1 for single width, 2 for double width, would not apply to exempt normal sized vehicles. Vehicles are likely restricted to be larger vans, food trucks, delivery type pickup trucks. The penalty structure current draft sets the minor misdemeanor up to $150 fine for first violation, and subsequent violations are 4th-degree misdemeanor. Once the chair has received the revised version, it will be sent to planning and zoning, police, and zoning inspector for review. We then discussed short-term rentals, STR 1270. The STR states of less than 30 consecutive days. Properties hosting any stays less than 30 days must comply with STR code, otherwise comply with long-term rental ordinances. Conditional use permit for STR will be valid for 1 year, annual interior, exterior safety inspections. Our meeting adjourned at 7:32 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Ordinance committee.
The ordinance committee met on Thursday, August 6th at 6:30 p.m. In attendance were all members of the ordinance committee, along with council members, President Johnson, Vice President Morris, and Mr. Gray. Also in attendance were Mayor Eva, zoning administrator Ms. Ice, and law director Mr. Zeman. Member of the public, Ms. Tazy, was in attendance as well. Regarding the regulation of backyard chicken coops, concerns raised by the mayor and zoning administrator regarding administrative workload and the registration and inspection procedure were discussed. The committee will adjust the draft to lengthen the registration period to 3 years and require that applications be accompanied by a site plan detailing specific structure dimensions and setback measurements to assist in determining whether the plan will be in compliance before inspection is scheduled. We will also add a requirement to secure feed so as to discourage nuisance animal activity. And as coop activity will be restricted to rear yards and not visible from the public right of way, the law director has agreed to help provide procedure language regarding searches in the hopefully unlikely event one would be needed. We anticipate that this item will exit committee in time for the next council meeting. Second, regarding recording of all public meetings, committee members agreed on a communication statement regarding its decision to proceed with required audio recordings. This was delivered to board and commission chairs this week by email, and requests made of them for agenda time to present and discuss the decision in person with groups at an upcoming meeting of theirs. A first draft of legislation was reviewed and input received from any council and administration who were present and from the law director as well. This included a request that our records retention policy be reviewed by our records commission as required by ORC and local chapter 282 and updated to incorporate current best practices. An updated draft of this will be reviewed at the next committee meeting. We adjourned at 8:09 p.m. That concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Were there any other board, committee, or commissions that met that weren't listed here tonight? Being none, we want to open to the public to speak. If you'd like to speak, please come to the lectern, state your name and address for the record. This is your opportunity to speak to council, not back and forth with council. Oh boy, didn't think so. All right, we'll close this portion, open to the public to speak. We'll now move on to legislation before council. Ordinance number 2026-0-11, if you could please read it by its title.
Ordinance number 2026-0-11. An ordinance amending section 416.12 of the codified ordinances of the city of Mentor-on-the-Lake, Ohio, with new division E regulating the use of electronic personal assistance mobility devices when entering upon a roadway and declaring an emergency.
Is there any discussion on this?
Yes, I'd just like to summarize or the background for this. This amendment and the next ordinance we are considering were the additional paragraphs that Lieutenant Messenger asked we add to the chapters 416.12 and 416.14 that we adopted on December 9th. The rest of the new laws regarding scooters and related devices. The paragraph explicitly requires all sidewalk riders who approach an unregulated intersection to yield the right of way to vehicular traffic in the roadway. And this explicit statement within these sections should provide improved clarity for everyone, law enforcement as well as the public, and enhance safety, education, and enforcement efforts. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Any other discussion? Any motions on this tonight?
Motion to suspend.
Motion made by Ms. Wong, seconded by Mr. Gray for suspension of the rules. Roll call, please.
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mrs. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Gray?
Aye.
Ms. Wong?
Aye.
Mr. Elam? Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Motion for passage.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Morris, seconded by Mrs. Thompson for passage. Roll call, please.
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mrs. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Gray?
Aye.
Ms. Wong?
Aye.
Mr. Elam? Mr. Johnson?
Aye. Ordinance number 2026-0-12. Please read it by its title.
Ordinance number 2026-0-12, an ordinance amending section 416.14 of the codified ordinances of the city of Mentor-on-the-Lake, Ohio, with new division G, regulating the use of low-speed micro-mobility devices and electric scooters when entering upon a roadway and declaring an emergency.
Is there any discussion on this?
Motion to suspend.
Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Thompson, seconded by Ms. Wong for suspension of the rules. Roll call, please.
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mrs. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Gray?
Aye.
Ms. Wong?
Aye.
Mr. Elam?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Motion for passage. Seconded.
Motion made by Mr. Gray, seconded by Mr. Morris for passage. Roll call, please.
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mrs. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Gray?
Aye.
Ms. Wong?
Aye.
Mr. Elam?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye. Old business. Do we have any old business tonight?
If I may.
Yes.
I'm not sure whether this would fit under old business or new business, but the letter that was read by the gentleman that you read, Council Clerk, I commend him for recognizing where the faults of these e-bikes in their lives. Apparently, there's not enough education, and our police department can't be required to educate everybody in this city as to the dangers of these things. The parents have to take some responsibility. And I thank him for looking at that, recognizing that.
Was there business there or just a
Not-
statement?
Just a statement.
Okay. Okay, is there any new business tonight? All right, we'll move on to open to public speak. If you'd like to speak, please come to the lectern, state your name and address for the record. Again, this is not a back and forth with council, it's your opportunity to speak to council. Anybody? No, still nothing. All right, we will close this portion to open to the public speak. We will now move on to announcements and settings and meetings. Parks and Recreation meets Thursday, August 13th at 6:30 p.m. Next regular meeting of council is Tuesday, August 25th at 7 p.m. Other meetings.
The Board of Zoning Appeals regular meeting would be on Monday, August 17th, but it has been canceled due to lack of agenda. So that should be marked as canceled on the calendar. It's currently still listed as needed. Should probably have another ordinance committee meeting before the calendar gets too full, except that Mr. Bittner's not here. So I'm gonna leave that.
I think zoning's gonna wait until we have everything back from all of the police, zoning and. Did you do it?
Motion for adjournment.
Motion made by Mr. Morris,
Second.
second by Mrs. Thompson. Roll call, please.
Mr. Morris,
Aye.
Thompson,
Aye.